And we're live. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 114 of Tales from the Green Room. This is Howie Spangler, and I got Matt Rhodes over, over, over here from
So,
Tropidelic. He's right here, guys. Um, so we're going to be doing some question and answer stuff later. So if you got some questions, like throw them up there, and we'll bring them in. But how's it going, man?
good buddy, hanging
Yeah,
in there,
ha-
making
ha-
do.
handling quarantine well.
Yeah, at first it was like a welcomed relief. I mean, everything's happens. Obviously, terrible people are dying, but like the quarantine itself, it's like just got off 6 weeks on the road, and I was like, all right, now I actually can't do anything. So here I am, But it's kind of getting to that point where it's time to get back at it.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have done how many live streams now?
Well, we've done a lot of like solo ones, but we had our second one last week, which ended up being a total mess. Just like sound production bombed big time. Um, so we're working on doing a follow up to that probably next week.
Right on. What were the issues?
It was I still don't know, to be honest with you. We There was tons of prep work. They were there super early. They tested it out a few different groups before, and then this is the first time though we had like a giant screen where I was reading the comments. So I'm like watching everybody say like, dude, you can't hear anything you guys are saying. This is sounding ratchet as fuck. And I
Yeah.
was like, I was just it was quite a unique experience to stand there to 1,000 people and say, yo guys, sorry, after 45 minutes of back and forth. But it is what it is. I wasn't upset about it. We're gonna make it up to them. So
Yeah, that's the one thing about this time right now. It's still there's still like bands trying to figure out like how it all works and like work out the kinks, work out the bugs, you know. And even as long as I've been doing it, um, I had problems with my stream last night, because of the app I was using. I was using StreamYard, which is what we're using right now.
right.
But for the music stuff, it doesn't seem to work because, like, I guess the audio seems to cut out here and there. And when you're playing songs, it's very noticeable. Not so much with dialogue, but and you can. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or they tried to tell me it was like it needs to be hardwired, but I don't have a situation where I can run 100-foot cable down from where the router is to my basement. Everything
Sure.
else works fine, you know. So
Right.
yeah, we're definitely trying to figure out and work out all the kinks. Everybody I see, and for the most part, everybody seems to be handling everything really well. And when things like that happen, it's obviously disappointing. But I like to think that the fans are kind of growing with us on it and kind of understand, like, okay, this isn't going to be perfect. We're
Sure.
just starting to do this stuff. So what is exciting is the fact that like to me, this is never going away. Like it was already here, but now it's like bands are going to be using this as a tool. You know?
And we hadn't really done a lot of this stuff, and I was like, I'm honestly like that first one. I was like, we did like two of them in the first weekend, and I was like, holy shit! Like we've been sleeping on this. It did so well. And I like, yeah, it's gonna be a permanent part of what we do as we move forward. It's really been amazing, and part of me thinks like I don't know how much of the success of those ones was attributed to it being what it is right now, and how much is we could have been doing for years already. I don't know, but it was certainly amazing. And like that first one in particular, how well it did. We had like a couple thousand people watching, like 1,500 overall on average, and like did like 80,000 views in like the first 24 hours or 48 hours. And then just like that feeling was just so surreal and weird. You know a lot better than me. You guys have been doing stuff like this, but that was the first time for us. We were like, dude, this is so strange, but like beautifully strange. Like
Yeah, it was really like I caught a lot of that first stream and you guys crushed it for one. You guys played for like 2 solid hours, if I remember correctly.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Um, so a lot of songs and just really, just kind of doing it on the fly. Like you're just doing what you guys do. You're just
yeah,
ripping and trying to incorporate how to like interact with the crowd because if interacting with the crowd was hard to do at a regular show, it is like impossible you know, for these things. There's nobody reacting to your shit. I mean, they are, but you there it's not in front of you, you know. And seeing it in text form, like you can get all the flame emojis you want. It doesn't replace like the that feeling of the roar, you know.
Right. But there's pros and cons though too. You don't get the roar, but you also don't get like broski in the front, like
Right.
you know.
Or like people like on their phone and shit.
Yeah,
It's
or
like not
that.
paying attention.
Yeah. Waste the girl, whatever. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, man. There's definitely differences. Some for the better, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been quite a interesting process, and they're fun to put on. They're fun to do because you learn something every time. You know, we had issues for our first one. You know, I'm sending everybody because you know you create that YouTube event weeks ahead of time, and you
Right.
send everybody there, right? So like 5 minutes before showtime, we had like 900 people just waiting, just in the chat, just chatting with each other. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
People making friends and shit. It was awesome. Everybody's stoked, man. We're like, hey, we got 900 people, and all of a sudden, like the people there, they needed my stream key to get in. I don't know why we didn't think to set this up earlier for some reason, but we couldn't get in, so they couldn't access that particular stream. And the
Uh-huh.
stream key is only good for that particular stream. So after like 15 minutes of trying to figure it out, I had to create a brand new stream and send everybody in this chat over to the other. So, you know, I immediately I'm like, go here, go here, go to this link. I'm posting like crazy. I go to all the socials, Facebook, Instagram. Go here. I'm like making videos on Instagram, like story, like, okay, everybody, go here, swipe up, swipe up. You know, just because we're trying to get going. You know, we're like 20 minutes over,
Right.
and you know, finally you start seeing it's like 500, 600, 700. It climbed up to almost where it was. So I don't know if we lost. We probably ultimately didn't really lose anybody. People probably found it, but it was just like that frustration and stress of like, so this time for the last one, I copied my stream key. Everything was in a note that I could just copy and paste, and of course it worked fine on the next one. But and then like certain sound things or like the way this looked or way that you learn something every time.
Yeah. That's definitely a unique part of it too, is that like, when our stream last week, it's like the people aren't in the club. Like if the sound's effed up, they're not like all walking out the door, you know what I'm saying? So like if you only have so long to kind of square that stuff away before your people are just dropping off when they wouldn't be if they were like bodies in the show,
Yeah,
it's definitely like special sort of situation.
absolutely. And it's what's been really really cool to see and really amazing about it is the amount of support, like the fans that they want to support, they want to donate to the cause to keep the ship afloat because I don't know how much people have thought about it, but like when you really start thinking about it from internally as the band, it's like shit, man. Like we really need to bring in such and such amount of money to kind of keep things moving. Minimum. We need this many thousands of dollars to kind of keep things afloat until we can get the live shows back. Because people need to make their salaries or whatever it is. I don't know. Every band pays differently, things like that, has their own situation. But, um, but the fans are like, just yes, here you guys are providing a service for me. You're helping me with my quarantine, my anxiety, my depression, whatever it is, and I want to give you some money for that. It's really incredible.
It is. It's mind blowing. I can't thank everybody enough. It's like been great. Um, I hope this doesn't go on another 2 months though. That being said.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure,
what's your like? When do you think Ballyhoo will play a show next? What's your best guess right now?
bro. We're looking at like, like I saw some shows get moved to like end of May, and I'm like, that's not happening.
Right.
In my head, I'm already like, if I'm being blatantly honest and like, I don't know how realistic, but I don't think we're going to be playing shows until at least November, December.
Oh,
Bro,
dude.
look, man, I don't want that. I'm just saying.
You
I was
think
going to
so?
ask you.
That's what
I
your
was
heart
going
of hearts is telling you right now?
to, dude, I just Look, man, I don't. I'm just looking at shit. I'm just like trying to see it. You know, you're reading all these. There's some articles out there about like, oh, 2021 October. You know, like it's when shit's gonna come back. Now, I don't think that like stadiums and arena shows are gonna happen this summer or even this fall.
Oh
You're
no,
talking 10 to 60,000 people in a room together,
no,
right?
no,
It's
no.
not gonna happen.
Right.
Um, can we pack a club with 250 people? You know, cap cap it off, even if it's a 500 cap room. Is that the law? Is it going to be like, okay, this many people can go in, you know, so restaurants can be open and clubs? Uh, you know, I'm fine with playing to 200 people. That's totally fine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be raging, but man, it's just like it's. I hate to think that, but like, yeah, obviously, hopefully sooner. But and I think that bands need to stay proactive and book the shows, get the holds, like obviously have something ready to go in case things are ready, you know, everything gets switched back on. You know, book the tour, book the whatever it is. You can always cancel it, but you definitely don't want to be in a situation where you just kind of waited and weren't proactive and all of a sudden we can tour again and now you don't have shows. Because like so many bands are going to be trying to get shows in the fall, you know? So I think that you should be working on it right now, at least looking at it and saying, okay, July, August, let's line something up. I just don't know if that's going to happen, you know? I was
Right.
going to ask you, what do you think about, obviously I'm excited to play Free Stomp
Yeah.
because we had to miss it last year, but um, I was excited to play it. What are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you want it to happen. Like, what is you guys are like festival promoters, you know? Like,
Yeah. More or less. That was an interesting point you brought up too, because it's another eerie part about all this is that, we've been having, like you said, you got to be prepared for the best case scenario. So we've been having booking calls and like, for weeks and weeks now, planning stuff. And it's just like, you're sitting there like, man, like at the end of the call though, you're kind of like, yeah, that was probably all for shit though. Like, it's just such a weird feeling to be like, just it's so strange. But and you're right about demand in the fall as far as available venues in light of probably a bunch of them closing and the largest ones probably not opening yet. Like there's going to be, a surplus of bands that are going to be wanting to play an even smaller amount of venues. So I mean, we'll see how that translates. I'm still of the personal thought that, right now my head is July. And I'm not saying I'm confident. I'm saying like maybe July we're going to be get back at this.
right.
But and part of my indicators is always like how the restrictions first went down. It was like a trickle effect. A few states and then the rest of them kind of follow. You see this jackass in Georgia just like flinging the doors open and everything, which is like, yeah, he's just like party starts next week, guys. Like which I think is hella dumb. But if more states follow suit, is that an indicator of what's sort of coming in these coming weeks? I don't know, but I think in the next like month for sure we'll have a lot better idea on summer.
Mhm.
But as far as freestyle, all systems go right now. Again, we'll see. We want to be safe and take care of everybody. But right now, I'm still optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's obviously optimism is super important. Realism obviously is important too, but
Yeah,
um, we just have to continue to watch it day to day. And that's where my head is at as well. Is like we'll have a better idea, I think, in May.
yeah,
You know, May 1st is what, next Friday.
yeah,
Um, so sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we may have a better gauge of kind of what it looks like. Georgia opening the doors, I think, is fucking dumb.
yeah.
Because and you got these people that are complaining and like taking guns and shit and like wearing masks and like we're gonna open up. Like no, like you're you're part of the problem. Like just get back with everybody else. The sooner we can, the more people stay inside, the sooner we can go back outside and play. You know,
Exactly.
just stop ruining it for everybody else. You're gonna cause more shit to happen.
Right.
Those are my thoughts on it. But uh, you should definitely be, you know, having those booking calls and you know, as much as it may seem like this is probably a waste of time, you know, just
Right.
yeah, book the shows and you can always cancel them. I mean, it's better to be proactive and be prepared than for all the situations than not
Right.
at all. You know,
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm hoping free stomp happens, obviously. And it's funny too when you think about like what it will be like when things open back up and people go to concerts again. Are we going to return to, you know, there's no 6 feet apart in the pit, you know, and we're not going to be like, are people going to be sharing joints? And are people going to be, how do you drink with a mask on? You're not supposed to take the mask off because that defeats the purpose. And once you take the mask off, you're exposed. It's like, dude, do you go like,
Right.
all those things, people go out and all the normal things that we do, hanging out, talking, drinking, smoking, like whatever it is you do, whatever you're into. How do we get back to that? How do we adapt? Do you look out to a crowd of people in a mask? Is everybody everybody singing the words? Walk away.
Some bands are doing that already, bro. They've been doing it. They made a career off that shit. Um, but I think it'll be like, they'll implement some sort of rules that like every other set of rules will get like loosely adhered to,
Yeah.
and we're gonna fucking just tumble into this and see what happens. I mean, that's just my guess. I don't know. Maybe they'll clamp down. Maybe you're right. Maybe it'll be fall. I mean, you've seen those articles circulating that say even further out. Like I was seeing like 2021 fall or something. But
Yeah.
I hope those aren't true. But yeah, like George, that's too much. You need to you've waited this long, like you've come this far. Why blow it by just being like, all right, it's time to go. You got to ease into this stuff.
Exactly, man. This is a huge thing, and like even when we get on the other side of the curve, there, you're still going to be coming down. You know what I mean? Like things are still, people are still dying. Like a life is a life. Even
Right.
if it's less people dying, people are still dying from this. You could get this shit. And I don't know, it just sucks. And the fact that there's no vaccine, it's just like, you know, being around people, you're still vulnerable. So I don't know. It's like you don't want to like we're human, so we don't want to like we have this natural thing that where we want to keep pushing, keep driving, and live and all that. But it's like, and when we're told to get shelter and stuff, it's like it's you start feeling claustrophobic, and you I don't know. And part of you, and you want to fight. You want to fight. You want to get back out there. It's like just fight the urge to fight. Just lay low. Learn a skill. Learn how to sew.
Yeah, I agree. Just take advantage of the time while you have it, because it's probably not going to happen like this again for at least 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
I don't know.
And hopefully we'll be ready for that next time. Like we'll
Hopefully.
have like infrastructure in place, like the the right amount of masks and ventilators and staff and like money, definitely money for when there should be some sort of a money emergency fund in place that can switch on when people can't work. Like when it's
Yeah,
something like this for as long as it is, that way businesses don't have to close down and people don't have to like kill themselves and feel like they're losing everything.
sure. Did they have any of that 1099 unemployment stuff kick in Maryland at all yet? Because I know
It's you can apply tomorrow.
okay.
And that's what I mean is like, before tomorrow, like right now, basically, and before this, as a gig worker or self-employed, you were not eligible for unemployment. But
Yep.
as of tomorrow, you can apply. I think
Right.
there's still eligibility requirements,
Sure.
but at least you can apply, whereas you couldn't before, which is something that should have been in place years ago. Like they shouldn't have had to, you know, figure all this out. Like we should have been there waiting. And people were saying this was going to happen, you know. Um, People that know this field, they know pandemic, they know how this stuff works, and it the advice and everything else was ignored.
Yep.
um, so things are what they are. We just have to know that we have to learn from this and try to make it better next time. you know
Yep. That's right. That's all you can do at this point, right?
exactly. So uh let's try to get people's minds off this pandemic bullshit.
Yeah.
So we haven't really ever talked like this. It's always kind of like hanging and what's up, man, and we'll chat for chit chat.
Yeah.
So like I kind of want to go a little bit deeper. So uh, I remember you guys from like '09, like when we were playing at Scarlet and Gray in Columbus,
Yeah.
and like you guys were doing your thing, and fast forward years later, you're selling out the House of Blues in Cleveland, and you're packing your these venues out around Ohio and stuff,
Mhm.
and you guys are doing shit, man. It's great to see. It's great to see. The band is like everybody's on fire. Like Rex Spector killing it. Like it's just it's good to see. Um, when did when did the band start and what was it? I don't know. Were you in bands before this or?
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I had, like, a high school band there, and, then I ended up in Ohio for college. I went to Kent State, so I started the band there with buddies there, and kinda, everybody kinda parted ways with that sorta lineup, and the whole name sorta thing coulda died really at that point, but I kept carrying the torch through actually a second round of guys. Um, but this is all just like still just fucking around. Like there was no serious. It was like I was working the job. I was DJing at nights, and it was just weekend hobby stuff. And then at some point around I don't know 2012 or 13 is when these guys started coming in the mix and things started to get real serious. And moved to Cleveland, kind of got the whole city experience. Still am getting it in a lot of ways, and yeah, here we are.
That's great, man. So wait, it was Tropidelic from the high school days.
No, it was a different. It was like I had a high school band entirely. We were playing
Oh,
like
got it. Gotcha.
pop rock, and I had just like started rapping a little bit into the live band sort of situation with that band, and then yeah, Tropidelic was like born in the dorm rooms of Kent State University. Um, but again, I only it's kind of weird because like yeah, I don't know. People ask how long the band's been around or whatever, and like it's been around a long time. If you want to talk about when we came up with that name and when we started like playing the backtracks in the basement, but like in my opinion, like the band really kind of started when this group of guys was in it, and we started touring nonstop and all this, which is been a solid 6, 7, 8 years now, but not quite as long as those first days.
Did you start in the like an E350 or whatever for the van, or did you immediately go to like a shuttle bus?
No, I think the first actual bus was like the actual tour thing. We had a van for a little bit, but the first one like that really got some miles was the like a full size Bluebird. Like I don't know, it was like 50 seater or something. We put 12 bunks in it. Drove it to Colorado like once, and we drove to Key West actually once with Badfish. Like that was like the first tour that they took us on, and Joel from Badfish still tells the story where we're like at that. Have you played that way out on Key West like with them? It was like I don't know what it's
Never been to
called.
Key West.
Yeah, but it's like this beautiful resort, yada yada. And we pull up in these narrow streets with chickens everywhere, and we're in this bus, and we open it up, and like Joel tells the story. He's like, yeah, everyone's like staring at like who are these people, and they're just dumping their piss out in the sewers, like. And he was like super embarrassed, and like he brings it up still that we were like these jackasses rolling in the school bus, like looking like bums dropping off this bus, and those were the early days on.
That was great. Yeah, early days, man. The early days are filled with amazing stories. A lot of stuff that I can't remember. Um, but so you've been sober for several years now, right?
Yeah, so it'll
Nice.
be 4 years in September.
4 years in September. That's
Right.
great, man. What I don't know how deep you want to go into this, but like what was it that made you decide to do that? Because I I I teeter totter on it. I'm like I want to quit, but I kind of don't because I feel like I like having some drinks every now and then, and it's fun when I'm with my friends and stuff, But ultimately, it's like I know what it does to your body, and I know it's like I know I don't need it, you know. Um, I try to drink a lot more water these days. I've been trying to get to the gym more. Haven't been to the gym in months now, but um, what was it ultimately that made you decide like, okay, I'm done with this forever?
Um, just being like, the real reality of it is like just 100% just scared of death. Like, don't want to die. I know for sure at this moment that if I keep going in this direction, like I'm going to die. Like, and that it was that simple. Like, and I know it's not that simple for a lot of people. Um, and that's not to say I was going to die the next day, but like I knew like I had just one night that was like turned into like a series of like this giant scare where I was like I was in a hospital. Like it was bad. And
Okay.
it wasn't just drinking, obviously. There was a lot of other stuff involved. But yeah, so that was kind of it, and I did it with the support of people around me, particularly Derek. And I haven't quite looked back since. But don't get me wrong, like I still would like a drink every once in a while too, like especially like now in particular, I'm like, you know what, like I don't know, like I could smoke some weed, it'd be all right. This would be a blast. Like get like maybe buy PS4 or something, but and I don't think I don't think weed would like send me down a downward spiral or anything. Like maybe I'll smoke weed again at some point. I don't even know. But probably should stay off the booze for like forever, probably,
Yeah.
because that was kind of like once I have a drink, it was kind of like game on with like everything. So,
Right.
but
Yeah, I was gonna ask if is it something that like was it the just the thought of like you knew you were gonna like consume too much, or were you just doing dumb shit when you that would get you killed? You know?
it was no, I mean like certainly like there was a lot of bad decisions made, but more it was like what that was a gateway to the other things I
Mm,
was doing.
gotcha.
And then it became like, okay, well, these other things are the bigger problem here, but if I have a drink of booze, it's going to be right back. So it was just like, you better just get rid of everything, not try this half-ass shit. And I'm just going to do a little of this now. And, it had to go. But that being said, I didn't really like get into the whole AA thing, which is like a pretty unique for somebody that's been sober, but that is like the way. And I have gone to meetings and I still go from time to time. But people always ask me like, what would you do? And I'm like, I'm probably not qualified to answer that. Like I could tell you what I did, but I know that the correct answer is like hit a meeting and you know,
Yeah, yeah. That's big, big to be able to kind of realize and like sort of pinpoint like what the problem is. Like in the way you say that, it's like it wasn't so much the booze that was scary as the things you did after that,
right.
or whatever. Maybe other things you consumed or the activities you were doing. And you just going, you know what? Just being able to get to the point where you're like, all right, I'm just gonna cut this out of here because this is just stupid. It's gonna take me down a dumb path. Um, yeah, like I don't feel like locked or anything. My dad was kind of an alcoholic, and I never wanted to be like that, So I kind of always strayed. Um, I just get to the, when I'm hanging out with friends and stuff, it's like that's how what happens. I end up drinking, and like I wrote a song recently called "Social Drinker," and it's like literally just about me. Like I could be fine, but then as soon as I see my friends popping beers, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do that now. It's like the
Yeah,
bro thing. Um, but ultimately, I don't like the way I feel anymore. Like it's just,
sure.
I'll drink one beer, like sometimes with dinner, and because I like to have a beer when I'm cooking or something, and like I'll immediately like I just feel like I won't even finish it, something like that. Why? What was the point of this?
Yeah.
And every now and then I'll have the thing, oh, I want to take a shot or want to do something, but then I don't, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm totally fine that I didn't do that. I didn't need that.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky, I guess, to have that mentality. Um, and I start thinking about like, I don't want to look like shit in 10 years when I'm 50. And,
Yeah.
I get complimented all the time, like, bro, you look like you're in your like 20s. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's like, if I stop drinking, then I can maintain that.
Yeah.
So it's more vanity than anything, probably.
Yeah. And it certainly definitely helps with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But I
guess
get a
whatever
lot
it is that help you stay healthy. I don't know. Worry
yeah.
about your looks.
But I will say that there's like a definitive line in my life, and it was like before I got sober and then after I got sober. Like everything everything in my life got better. Like, and it was like, and I would hear people say shit like this to me, but like prior to getting sober, there was a point in my life where like, there people like I'd meet like a sober person, which wasn't very often, and then and I'd be like, fuck, you, like like pussy, like like just what an ignorant idiot I was, like like because that sober person has literally just ripped out his soul, dragged it through hell, and came back more than likely. And like I was stupid enough to think like, oh, like what, fucking square or whatever, But I get a lot of people that will be like, oh, like you're so strong for living this lifestyle and doing this. And now that I'm a couple years out, I can see that there's really like I couldn't imagine what I would do like if I in sobriety not doing this, because it consumes like every ounce of me and so much time, and just literally the top of my mind, boom, 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 boom. But what I would be scared is if I was like in just like a 9 to 5 sort of situation, like what do you do when you come home? Like like
Right.
what happens then? Like like I can go to the gym, that accounts for like an hour or two, but then what do you do with the rest of the time? What do you do with your weekends? Like
Yeah.
it's that idle time that really is like the problem. It's kind of the issue for me. Like I have to stay moving, have to stay busy. It's the bad decisions get made when the mind wanders for me.
Right. So what do you do to pass the time now in the quarantine?
I've been writing and working on music. I've been sneaking into the studio with just like one guy, and then working out. I've been getting back into running. I think I'm at like 50, 60 miles for April. So, and I got addictive personality too. So like when I like the running thing, like every year I'll feel it come around, and then once I'm like 5 runs in, those first 5 really suck. They suck bad, but then I'm like, oh, I'm into it. Dude. And you get like this rush, and now it's just I want to run every day, and
Want to
you
beat your
know,
record and all that?
yes, I got like one of those apps, and all that. But it's nice to just like I don't. I'm really particular. Like it does. I don't just sit down and crank out a song like that. So like now I have the time to focus. So I'm putting out a couple solo songs. I did a couple features for some friends coming up. Got a couple new Trop songs coming. So it's nice.
That's great. Did you start working out after you got sober, or was it like a mechanism to help with sobriety, or were you working out before that?
Nah, I was before that. I was like an athlete in high school and stuff. At one point, I thought I was gonna play college basketball, and then I had like a bad back injury, and that kind of put me out of that, which honestly probably changed the trajectory of my whole life. Like I don't even know if I'd like be here talking to you had I gone on and played college basketball. Like might just be
Wow.
a whole different story. So, but no, I was always kind of active. But it definitely kind of fills sort of that void. If you stop partying, it's definitely like a regular situation where sober people are in the gym more often than not. But
Yeah. I I like I like when I can get myself to get up to go to the gym, and now I'm missing it more because I'm not allowed to go. That's that. I think a lot of people feel like that probably, um, but when I do go and I get into it, there are days like if I miss, you know, if I miss a few weeks or a month or something, because I was never fully committed to it. But I get frustrated, and I don't want to push through. I get mad at myself, and I'll stop like 40 minutes in. Be like, fuck this. But I just get mad. There are other days when when I'm doing it consistently, and you get over those little humps,
yep,
and I start seeing it. I'm like within like 2 fucking 1 or 2 hour sessions in a week or
yeah,
whatever. I can start seeing it in my arms and shit. I'm like,
yeah,
damn, dude. Like you see the results and like almost immediately, and that's a good feeling. And when you get done, your workout, like, and I try to work everything out. I'm not at the point where I have like leg day, chest, back. I don't have it. I'm not like that. I'll try to work everything out, and I just feel good at the end. Maybe it's like because I know I did something good for myself, and my body. Um, but you feel that, and then the next day or the day after, you feel like that soreness. Like it's just like you kicked your own ass, and it's just a great feeling. I just wish that I had as much drive for that as I do this, you know,
yeah.
the music and everything else. I wish I could get hypnotized, to go, work out 3 days a week at least, and Nick, our bass player, I mean, he's fucking jacked, and he goes to the gym like at least 5 days a week probably, and like he'll get up in the morning like 8 in the morning and go to the gym on tour,
Yeah.
and that takes commitment because a lot of times everybody's drinking or staying up late or whatever, and he just goes and does it, and he looks great.
He does look great.
He does look great.
That's funny. So we have like a unique sort of like, that's part of it too with the band, is that there's not a lot of, even there's two of us or so where a couple of us don't really drink, a couple guys blaze, but for the most part, like we're not really like partiers as a whole, at least comparatively speaking. So we go to the gym like almost daily on the road, mostly for the showers, but while we're there, 3 or 4 of us are usually in there pumping. So which is kind of weird because it's another kind of like weird thing where, the road's supposed to be just like chaos. And I think it is a lot of time. And don't get me wrong, it's still chaos in a lot of ways. But for me, my routine is better. Like my headspace is almost cleaner on the road because I know I'm getting up, I'm driving 3 hours, we're going to the gym, we're going to load in. Right? So when I come home, especially this last time coming home, because came home to this crazy shit, but like I just went off the rails. Like I was just like eating like hell. I put on like 10 pounds. So that's why I've been running, because I was like trying to get this weight off. But it's bad enough getting off the road, like to get back to this home routine. But then you get home and it's like a friggin' pandemic and everything's awry, But it's weird. The road routine like helps me stay like sane because it's just like very rigid,
I totally agree with that. I feel more structure on the road than at home most of the time. Like around here, it can be a complete shit show, with the kids and everything. And there is structure. Don't get me wrong. Like there's bedtime, there's lunch, there's dinner, whatever. Right now it's crazy because there's no school and we're trying to do that. Danielle's handling a lot of that, so I'm grateful for her. But yeah, on the road, everything's like you got your tour manager. Everything is like cut and dry. Like, okay, we're doing this, and everything's definite. There's no, we might do this. Like, no, you're definitely doing this. I'm going to wake up, and we're going to start driving, and we got to be here by 2 or whatever, 3 o'clock. Load in, sound check. It's all, it's Groundhog Day, but that's like a good thing in so many ways. As boring as it can get and monotonous, you have that structure, and you just know how shit's going to go down. Days off, I mean, they're amazing, but you're kind of like, what do I do with myself? What do I do with my time?
Yeah.
So I totally understand that feeling. I think it's great that you guys go to the gym like that as a unit. Fayuka does that. They'll camp out in the parking lot of a Planet Fitness and go to the gym in the morning, get showers, and that's their shower.
Yeah,
I think it's beautiful.
Some tells me Danny though doesn't hit the gym though with the rest of them when they go in the gym.
Yeah. I think different lifestyle for him maybe. But yeah, it's nice to see that. And we were doing that. We did our first like sober tour back in October. We did Sober October for the first time, and we had thought about it the previous October in 2018. And by the time we were gonna follow through, it was like November. But like, so we were like, okay, anybody want to do this with us? Like, I think Alex, our TM, was like, hey, anybody want to do Sober October with me? And I was like, yes, let's do that. Because I was thinking it. Donald hadn't drank for like a month already. And I think he did it to kind of see if he could do it,
Yeah.
Because he used to drink a lot, but now he's really laid back. And even myself, like, I rarely drink beers at the shows. Like, I'll take some shots, here and there, but so I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care to do it. And it was a good thing. So we went to the gym, like for the first week, we went to the gym together, and then everybody started to fall off, including myself. And it's just hard to stay committed to doing that when I enjoy working so much, and no matter what I'm doing, if I'm not working, I need to get back to it. I just wish that I felt like that about hitting the gym,
Yeah. But it's hard when it comes if the booze becomes part of that routine that is so instilled in what you're doing, then that's even harder. And it was for me too. Like there was me more so than anybody at the time. But there was the Police State song I meant. There's a lyric about 7 beers deep and we haven't left the heights. Like I would just get on the bus and just like start pounding beer. Like we'd be in the driveway still, you know, like that's where it was at for me. Like towards the end there. And I remember the one time we got like held up for some reason and we hadn't even left our town and I was like 7 beers in or something, you know, like,
oh my God, dude.
yeah, like it got out of control and that's my personality. So that's why it's like an all or nothing, but
Yeah.
it's like I describe it as like a chipping away at the wall though too. So if you're at a point where you just like don't want to do it, maybe you're coming up to the wall, you know, or whatever. But that's what it took for me. Like so many people calling me an asshole, calling me out for my bullshit, feeling like hell, just like brick by brick, it was coming down until there was, you know, there was nothing left, and that was it, you know.
Yeah. Damn. Well, it was nice you were able to take that addictive personality you're talking about and like focus it on, you know, being better, like fitness and, you know, just your overall health. You know, that's great. And I definitely I hope people are getting some value out of this right here, man, cuz like this is people need to hear this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Um like the podcast is like, you know, it's about experiences that I've had and things like that and like my guests have had like with the music industry and things like that, but anytime like sort of like life lessons can happen too, I'm like I'm so thankful that, you know, thanks for being open about that, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm an open book. I like to just, you know, tell people how it is, you know.
Yeah, yeah, you don't know how to go like how deep to go with someone. Yeah, I don't want to like offend anyone or like bring up bad memories or anything like that, you know. So I just try to tread lightly around it. So
No, you're good. I don't honestly go deeper, but I don't want to offend anyone either. So like I don't want to get like too hardcore, like fuck up the PG-13 rating of this whole thing, you know. But what
that's great. Um, so how many records you guys got out?
it's a good question. 5 or 6. I don't know. There's like maybe 3 or 4 EPs, and I think the last full length was the 3rd full length, maybe.
Cool. Okay.
Um,
Um, uh, yeah, we're I think we got 7 albums. We're working on number 8. You know, it's just slow going. You know, I figure like right now is like a good time to like I want to release stuff, but I want to take my time and make sure it's good. I just want to put things out just to put things out. And I understand that like the fans they want music, you know, but I don't want to give them shit, you know. So like got to
yeah,
take our time with it. It's nice to see you doing your solo stuff
yeah.
as well. And thanks for coming to me for you know, you ask me every now and then you'll send me a track and be like, yo, what do you think of this? Like, should we do this? Thanks for thinking of me for that. It's nice to get a little inside view.
Oh, dude,
So
thank you for the feedback. You're
yeah,
producing all kind of good shit for our peers and stuff. So I appreciate you giving me the feedback. I sent you. So we got this single coming out with the Dirty Heads tomorrow. I sent you the
tonight,
song actually
tonight.
tonight. Yeah, tonight at midnight. But I sent you that song before we got the feature just to get your feedback. Probably I don't know months ago. You
A couple
know.
months ago. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. You're like, hey man, can you check this out? And I was like, all right. And I thought it was great. You know, you just had a few questions about production and things, um, and then I come to find that Jared from Dirty Heads is on the song. It's like amazing. Like he's so great. And
He was on Girls, wasn't he?
yeah, he was on Girls. He did a track called "She Wants Love." And I don't know what was the process with him because for me it was pretty quick. Literally, he sent me a verse, and I gave him some notes. I'm like, hey man, can you do me a favor? Like, I wanted him to. I wasn't as descriptive as I could have been up front. I should have said, hey, kind of give him some guidelines or whatever. But I just wanted him to tell a little bit of a story to kind of go with the song story. And
Yeah.
so he redid it, sent it back, and it was great. What was it like with you, with him?
Yeah, it was pretty painless. I mean, like we talked briefly on the phone, kind of shot me over some of his ideas. I dug him. I was like, you know, I'm never, I never push people too much about even if it's my song. Kind of just like, yeah, as long as I guess I'm like a vocal note sort of guy too. Like melody and stuff is more important to me. So as long as like that stuff's mostly there, I'm usually just like, dude, it sounds good. Let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
So it went pretty smooth.
Good. Yeah, I like to have when if someone's jumping on our tracks or whatever, like I obviously want them to, you're getting them for several reasons, but one of them is because it's like they have a cool way about them or a cool vision that you like to bring onto your track, and you want them
Yeah,
to have that comfort, and I'm sure because it's not their own band, it feels weird, and it's but in a good way. um so they're kind of stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit, but you're getting them for their style, the way they deliver and their voice, and the way, like this would sound dope on this track, and
yeah,
certain tracks don't work for certain people. um so when I bring somebody in, or when I go to work with somebody else, I would hope that they just kind of let me do my thing. And I always
right,
ask, "Hey, is there anything specific you want me to talk about?" Stuff like that. But like,
sure.
but yeah, it's like ultimately, it's like I want to be kind of free to do what I do, and I want to do the same for other people. Like, let them come and do what they do.
Yeah, and that's how it started with this. We like talk with the label like who might be good for like whose style and like vocal tone and everything would sound good on this, and that was like the very first top of the list, and it just so happened to work out. But I agree, like I just like giving people the freedom to kind of do their thing, and just like Baby Dick Parade. That one's going down the record books. Best we were going to drop record all time.
Dude, I wanted to use that on something. I was like, I got to do this on something. And it was the perfect moment because that's what the song's about.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's about fucking douche at a party. Like,
Yep.
that's what the song is about. And like, I was like, God, I want to use this because we use that phrase in the van, like when we're driving, and you see the dude, see the dude in the big ass loud truck, that like driving
Oh
by,
yeah.
and he's speeding around and peeling wheels, and it's like, like we call it, we say, we say, oh, that guy's pissing on his balls because his dick's so small, he's pissing on his balls, and
Oh,
he's
gotcha.
got to get home real quick because he's pissing on his balls with his tiny dick. So, so that's the joke. Oh, that guy's peeing on his balls, and it's like, oh, get out of the way, I'm pissing my balls, and so like, yeah, the BDB hashtag Baby Dick Brigade, um, and I was like, this is perfect. This is the moment. This is my moment.
That was it.
And like, I I sent you the shit, and I didn't hear from you for a few hours or something, or maybe in the next day. I was like, oh man, I hope they like that.
No,
You're like,
I
yeah, this is
mean,
cool, man. This is dope.
it was good. Yeah, I dug it.
Oh man.
I didn't. It's good to know the true. That's the etymology of the term, I guess, or is that the right word? Yeah.
It was never to take all this shit serious. Like I would never like try to like take away from someone's art by putting something dumb on there on purpose just to be funny or something. But like, it was just, I had a feeling that like people would relate to it and
Oh
would
yeah.
know this guy. I'm looking at the comments right now. They're all fucking laughing. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. Can you see the comments, the
No,
chat
we're
here?
off to the comments. How
You
I do
can,
that?
you can see it. Like, there's a button. I don't know where it is,
Oh,
but you
I
can
see him.
hit
I
it.
missed that button. Damn, I wish I'd have seen this button before.
Oh, it's all good. I'm gonna bring in people later,
Okay.
but yeah, there's people laughing and shit. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people can connect to it, and as weird as it was, because I felt a little weird singing it, but I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna commit to this, and I feel like you can say just about anything as long as you deliver it properly, as long as it's in a nice package. It's all about the packaging, right? And I felt like it worked, and it's like a ska punk song, and it's I don't know, reminded me of one of my songs. You know what I mean? I felt comfortable
Yeah.
singing on it, and I just felt like people were gonna relate and feel good about it. So, and it's now they can sing it and they'll laugh, and now they hear the story and they'll just laugh more. I don't know. It's a great song. I don't know, dude.
Oh, dude, I mean, it paints a picture too. Like that verse is concise. Like not just that lyric. Like it like it does what it's supposed to do.
Good. Yeah, I was trying to like describe like real dudes I met in the past like parties. Just like, oh, you're that guy. Okay. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's, Baby Dick Brigade. Oh my god, I'm so glad you brought that up. I
I
totally
think
wasn't even.
I think it was I first wrote that, like started writing that song on across the street from the Beat Kitchen at the show we played with you guys there
Oh, cool.
in Chicago.
That show was slamming, dude.
Yeah. What was that, 2 years, 3 years ago? 2 years?
2018, yeah. It was
Yeah.
yeah, it was sold out. That was one of the sold out shows. We sold out 9 shows on that tour out of 27 shows.
Yeah, that was a blast.
So a third of the tour got sold out, man. It was us, you guys bumping uglies, slamming tour, man.
Yep.
In the summer too, so it was like prime.
Yep.
Um, so what's your you're I don't know, I guess you'd say relatively new in this scheme of like uh I don't know, the decade that you guys really started going hard, like early 2010s, like mid 2010s. So streaming was starting to happen, you know. Obviously we still sell CDs and shit like that, but my band started in 95. Like we've been like through several major changes in like the music industry as far as like medium, like what's popular, what platforms, you know, like there was no streaming back then. It was like, and if you made a CD, you were like hot shit. You were doing shit, you know,
Yeah.
and it was very expensive. It was like $3,000 to make 1,000 CDs. Um, you know, that's if you wanted them in color. And like, just the shit has changed so much. And I recently saw someone asked, "Hey, what's the best way to support the band?" And someone said, uh, "Boycott streaming, boycott streaming." And I was like, "That is like the worst fucking advice you could give."
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, it's the future. So I mean, granted, like buying a CD probably grosses the band significantly more, but I mean, that's the future, and it's what everything is right now. I mean, but you're right. You've seen a lot. I mean, I can't even imagine. I was like 10 years old in '95. Yeah, I mean, shit, you weren't much older than that though. Probably what? Were you like
I was
15, 16?
I was 15, yeah,
Yeah,
14 or 15, yeah.
yeah.
I
So
have a late birthday.
yeah, you would have seen it all. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the number one way, right? I mean, like the easiest way, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, sorry, the way I see it is, there's a lot of things that like we're still learning, you know, and I'm still learning. I still learn all the time, but what people aren't thinking about is like, yes, I get it. Like you're not making any money, you know, I get it. Streaming, the pay sucks. Anybody will tell you that. I agree with that. The pay sucks. You know, you're less than a penny per stream. Um, I can say that once when you get your numbers up, and I tell bands like get like just keep writing and putting shit out. You know, the bigger your catalog, the more money you're eventually gonna have because everybody you have your whole catalog. There are people gonna listen to it all or most of it, and you can't take a CD and share a link with somebody in another country or across the state. You know, across the country. You can take a Spotify link or an Apple Music link and send it to somebody in a second, and they can listen to it within 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Of you sending it. You can't do that with CDs. CDs don't do anything for the algorithm the way they do in Spotify. If you're, you know, someone may listen to your CD all day in their car or play it for their friends in your car when they're driving around or somewhere, driving to somewhere. That has value in it. The value is that they're going to hear you and hopefully go listen to you on Spotify or go to your show later on or buy a shirt, right?
Right.
There is something, CDs are still valuable in that way. We sell them at shows because it's like their merch. They're basically like this coaster right here, like
Yeah.
or a sticker. Like it's merch that they're going to get signed, but they're not popping in the CD player. They're going to listen to it on Spotify when they get in the car, right?
Right.
Um, and they'll buy it to support. That does generate more money, obviously, but in the long game, you have to play the long game. That's just how this works. You have to play the long game, and the long game, eventually, you'll see some money. Streaming is what matters. Stream numbers are what matters. The more your song gets streamed, the more the algorithm is going to pick up on it and think that it's popular and push it out to more people. You can't do that with CDs. And with iTunes downloads, same thing. Like I tell bands, like, look, yeah, push your release, push it, try to get that number one spot in reggae or whatever it is, get that top 10. It looks good at the time. It does nothing for the band after that. It does nothing. Like no one remembers that. No one cares. Um, but if you download on iTunes, yeah, you're gonna make the band's gonna make a little bit more money. But when you listen to that thing 100 times, nothing happens. Nothing happens past that purchase, right? Except for if you send the MP3 to a friend. Nobody wants MP3s anymore. They want links they can open up and just listen and stream. It's just the world we live in now, man. And it's like I said it before. I don't know how good this comparison is, but like a rewards card, like a credit card that has a reward system on it, like cash back or like, points or something towards flights later on. It's the same idea with like a stream. The more streams you do, the more purchases you make, let's say the purchase is a stream, the more benefits going to come later. You're going to get that cash back. You have to be looking at the back end. You have to be looking at the future, man. I don't know. Maybe I got to come up with a better way to explain that, but streaming is where it's at. You just get more of it. Get your fans to do more of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, dude, everything you're saying makes total sense.
Yeah. I just want people that other artists, like you obviously get it. It's just like other artists, like just wrap your brain around it. You have to unlearn what you thought you knew. And it's just not that industry anymore. It's a completely different industry, and it's ever changing. It's always going to be changing. You need to be looking ahead. You know?
Do you think we'll live to see a day where like Spotify isn't the number one?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like just like how Instagram beat Facebook with younger crowds. It's mostly older crowds.
Yeah.
Just like Facebook beat MySpace. TikTok is going to go over Instagram at some point. TikTok's going to be the thing. You know, it's there's going to be a new platform. I don't know what the platform's going to be. I don't know what the medium will be. Maybe it's going to be in our heads. You know, like we're going to be connected, and it's just there's an app you download to your head, and you're like, hey, play this song, and you play the shit. I have no clue, but I just know something will take this over. Just you need to be watching the market, watching your fans, learning from them. I go back and I read all the comments. I go back through on this stream. When I'm done here, maybe tomorrow morning or maybe later tonight. I got a bunch of shit to do, but like I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna read through these comments and see what people are talking about. That's how you learn your audience. You got to know your audience, know what they want from you because they want something. You got to give
Yep.
that to them. It's all art. It's all art, but it's a great way to do some free R&D and learn what people want. You know, I don't know. I
Yeah.
learned that I need to make masks. You know, and we
Yeah.
did that. It's
Yep.
just stuff like that.
I'm the same way. I try to read almost everything, but granted, we don't get that. You listen to Rogan too, I'm assuming, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So he's like rigid about not reading anything. Like
Yeah,
as far as but we're not in the same boat with getting like all kind of hate and shit like that. But I agree, you got to be in tune, and that's one thing I think I've done a good job of thus far is I try to read everything. I try to respond to then. Someone once told me that like you should respond to everything too, and that's a little bit too much for me. But I try to read them all.
yeah. I mean, it's also one of the things too. Like Joe Rogan not reading the comments, like he doesn't necessarily have to.
Yeah,
And he also comes from that old style. Like Bill Burr doesn't read comments. Like none of those guys.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get that. I get that. It's they're a little older than us. That generation. But now, if you want to be savvy and you want to know your crowd, look, man, you just have to build that thick skin and be able to tolerate shitty messages. I get them every now and then. It's mostly love. Thank you so much. Um, but we'll put up a video, man. I'll do a live stream. I'll get one thumbs down. There's always one. There's always one. I don't know who it is. Some fucking person out there that's thumbs down my shit. I don't know who it is, but I look at everything else. It's mostly great stuff, mostly love and great compliments. Um, but I'll get some shitty comment, dude. I'll reply to that shit. It's like, oh, and it's not even a dickish thing. Not like, oh, what the fuck's your problem? It's literally like, somebody's like, "Oh, this song sucks" or whatever, I'll be like, "Well, what don't you like about it? Like, what is it?" You know, and I'll come out of it really nice. You know, what don't you like about the song, dude? Most of the time when that happens, they go, "Oh man, I was just mad that day or whatever." Like, your
Yeah, yeah,
stuff's
yeah.
cool, man. You're cool. You know, you really like people are so quick to shut down the shitty comments. And look, some people are just there to be assholes, but you have to kind of learn and give yourself the, you know, that little bubble that's like not, you're impenetrable. Like, all right, whatever. I laugh at that shit. I think it's funny, you know. Some people don't have that. Some people get really hurt, you know, and I understand, but like you gotta be like tough in your heart for this shit. And especially going further in 2021, 22, 23, like it's just gonna get worse. Everything's gonna be online, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's how you learn. That's how you learn from your crowd.
Yeah. So we got, yeah, like I earned some thick skin like super early on in this process, but like back in the day when I was at Kent State still, when it was different guys, we would stand out like at the busiest point of the campus in between classes and pass out handbills. And I'm talking like thousands of kids. Like you're talking about 25,000 kids at this university. We're like at the epicenter of it all. And some of these girls would just be like, they would shoot you down so hard, and it would just like dagger. They just be like,
Yeah.
you know. But like after like a couple hours of that, and like day after day after day, like you don't give a shit anymore. It's kind of like rejection when you're like in the dating scene or something too. Like it just becomes a numbers game, you know. Like, but that being said, we still do like this like DIY thing. We still do is at the shows now. So we have, you know, you make it past the merch table, then we have Rex and James, usually the point men, hustling demos, right? And then behind that, we have the rest of us have little handbills with our name on it. So no matter who leaves the show there, you're getting something, whether you buy something or it's just a little card with our name. But one thing I've been noticing in California lately, in particular, which means it's coming for all the rest of us, is that like I'll be standing behind the guy selling demos, and I'm hearing a lot of like, especially on the West Coast, like, who the fuck has CDs anymore? You know, like sort of thing. So like, you know, they're the first indicator for what's coming for the rest of us. So you're right there. Like we will definitely see the day where CDs are just like going to be fucking done. I think they'll be like vinyls, like they'll be, you know, like novelty. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably are, I guess, kind
They're
of.
basically novelty now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
right.
merch. It's just something else to sell. And I think people still appreciate CDs for a different reason. You know, it's just like
Yeah, yeah,
they like the art and it's something you can sign and they just have like a it's something they can take home with them. And they know they support it, you know. So, you know, bands of our size, um, I think should still be pressing CDs for that reason. Obviously, get vinyl too, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah, passing out flyers is like the most devastating thing you can do yourself. It's like so cold, you
yeah.
know. Um, I mean, Greg Shields, cashed out, is the king of this shit, dude.
I've seen him. I've seen him do it. Yeah,
Bro,
he's
he's
funny to
so
watch.
good.
Yeah, he's
He'll
funny to
say
watch.
things like he was selling on Warp Tour for us. He did both Warp Tours with us all summer long,
Yeah,
both years. And he would be out there in a sombrero, and we hooked him up with a speaker, a mixer, our new album, and some merch, all the CDs, and on a hand truck, all bungeed down. And he would just blast the shit at the line in the morning, just walk by everybody. He would sell so many CDs. He'd be standing. He's great at like, you know, countering when someone's like, when you're like, hey, would you like to buy a CD or like listen and check it out? People go, no, I'm good. He'll go, well, what are you good at? You know, just keep the conversation going. You know, he's so good at that shit.
yeah,
Man, everybody needs a Greg.
yeah. He's a funny guy, man. I like him.
He's awesome dude.
You just had him on
So
what last episode, right, or 2 episodes ago?
I had him, I think 2 episodes. Yeah, yeah. It turned out like be like a 420 special. Like I had Donald, my brother, and Ted from Pacifier came on, so it was a fun little thing at the end.
Oh, nice.
Um, Let me see if you got some questions, guys, for Rhodes here. Send them our way, and I'll throw them up on the screen and see if they'll be nice enough to answer.
Oh yeah, give it to
um,
me.
let's see. Arlen says, "I have every Trop CD except the new EP and every Trop album on iTunes. Hell yeah!"
Thanks, buddy. Hope you're doing good down there.
And I want to reiterate that, like, I'm not saying that buying iTunes album, like, don't do that. I'm still do that. I think the fans will still support whatever way they can. I just know that it's not as popular as streaming is.
Yeah.
Streaming ultimately helps the band a lot more. Um, let's see. Cloud9 vibes. Can we get Rhodes on a feature?
Mike, he's so persistent, buddy. Maybe one of these days we'll have to make this happen finally.
Keep hammering it away, Mike.
Speaking of like the old days, Mike's brother used to date the girl that I sang in my high school band with, like freaking 20 years ago. I known his family, so.
Oh, nice.
Tell him what's up, brother.
That's awesome. Let me see. Oh, this shit's flying now. Hold on, come back. There we go. Is there going to be a Rhodes Icarus stream at some point?
Yeah, I'm not like, I've never been the guy to like play a guitar on the corner of a bar. That's just like not like, this never was my thing. I'm much more like, I like to really like dig in. I guess like I'm self-conscious too, but that's not the reason. I don't really have fear or stage fright or anything anymore. I guess to a point, but the sitting by myself playing acoustic is just like not my favorite thing in the world to do. I don't know, but like I that being said, I've forced myself out of the comfort zone a few times here, but I probably should do like a full stream at some point. We'll see. I have more fun writing and like going to the studio than I have doing that though. So, yes, at some point I'll do one. Yes.
The short answer is yes.
Yes.
I think your fans would love that. They'd appreciate it, even if like half hour, play like 6 songs. Just
yeah.
That'd be fun. Jared B says, "Will Eerie Vibes and Irie Tides ever be streamable?"
Probably no. Probably not ever.
And why is that?
So that was like a second lineup of dudes, right? So I had my college buddies was the first lineup, a second lineup, and it was like all guys that were older than me, right? So I'm still learning a lot of things at this point about how to be in a band and how to set it up, and everybody thought they were the boss, sort of thing. And at that point, we were splitting songwriting across the board evenly. So this record here that he's referring to was like one of the first studio produced ones, and everybody has an even share of it, of the sound recording and the PA. So we can't, and we didn't exactly end on the best terms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So I think there was one guy that held out, but the rest of us were like, "Fuck it, put it out, whatever." But once one guy says no, you're dead in the water.
Damn.
Yep.
Find some old MP3s, dude.
Oh, it's out there. You can find it if you want to.
Let's see. Roxy says Trop is one of my favorite bands ever. Love all the live streams.
Thanks, Roxy.
Yeah, you guys crushed it, man. At least that first one I caught was like, it was great to see. It was awesome, and that was right when shit was popping, like when things just happened, and like you guys were you and like Uglies and Red Gold Green were like quick to just get out there.
Yeah.
We were a little late. We came in like 2 weeks late on that shit.
No, I saw yours. Yours look great too, man.
Oh, thanks, man. We're lucky to have what we have. There's this company's like 20 minutes from my house, and they crush it. Michelle says, fell in love with Cashed Out after I bought their CD last summer with Ballyhoo. Oh, okay, yeah. Cashed Out's great, man. Love Cashed Out. Stage 20 says, what venue have you not played that you guys are dying to play?
I mean, what's the obvious answer everybody says, right? I mean,
Red Rocks.
Red Rocks, man.
That's the one.
How about Red Rocks?
Great White Buffalo.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. You've probably done most everything up until that point by now,
huh? There's probably a couple. I would love to play at Royal Farms Arena right here in Baltimore. I saw Green Day there when I was a kid. Like it was Baltimore Arena. It would be cool to just play like the arena show in our hometown. It'd be fun. Bobby says, do you see a surprise hometown show when this is all over?
That's something that we talked about, and I think probably a lot of bands have talked about, like as like a pipe dream, sort of like, yeah, let's just throw this banging show and everybody will come out. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the reality of it. Like, I think there's going to be a slow crawl for a lot of people to get back to going to these shows. And I guess it really depends on when this is going to come all be done and where that puts us in the calendar year. And right now we're just focused on Freak Stomp and you know hoping that's all still going to happen the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I'm in the same thought. Like as soon as this shit goes, like I know people are itching to get back to shows and the bands and the fans, but like how quick is it going to be? Like how some people might not want to go out. Just because shit opens up that weekend doesn't mean you need to go that weekend. It's like it's not. I mean, who knows? It's not going to be exactly 100% safe. There's no vaccine yet. I don't know. Are we gonna? What are ticket prices going to be like? Some of these promoters are going to try to make some money back. Is it going to be a $50 ticket? Like what is it? You know, I don't want to see a $50 Ballyhoo show. I want to keep them like 10 to 20 bucks. People make it affordable. People aren't working
That's
right now.
Yeah, that's been a fear of mine too. Thinking about that, like if it has to go to like these like tiny shows and they got to jack up, that's gonna be so weird and shitty. Where like we have to do like super expensive tickets to cover the overhead for everybody. Like I really hope we don't have to enter into that world. Like that's gonna be super awkward.
Yeah, well, they'll have to come up with a way to like try to keep overhead low so they don't have to charge so many tickets, like maybe less crew or less production or something. I don't know, man. It really is a interesting, bizarre time we're in, and
Yeah.
I don't know, no different when everything comes back. Great question though. Michael, yeah, man, send me a track, dude. I'd love to sing on something. I love singing, so just send me shit. Let me see. Will Tropidelic do a Suicide Machine song on a recording or in concert? Billy Pryor asks.
What's up, Billy? I don't know. I would love to do that. I love Suicide Machines, man.
They're
I've
sick.
been following. I think they just put out like a new album. I think whatever the last couple months. I think right. I think
Yeah,
during the quarantine they did.
yeah. Roger from LTJ produced it.
Oh, did he really?
Hmm.
Yeah, man, I love Suicide Machines. I don't know. Maybe one day we will. We were working in like a Rancid melody the other day though. Maybe we'll do that in the next stream.
Nice. Yeah, we covered we covered Time Bomb by Rancid on a
Sick.
tour a couple years back. It was awesome. It was funny too, but like, nobody knew what it was. Like
Really?
yeah, dude. Everybody in the crowd was like, 25 and under, and nobody knew the song.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I guess
That song came out, yeah, like 25 years ago, and it's very, yeah, weird. Let's see. Jeb asked, "Will we see more collabs in 2021?"
You see more collabs in 2020, buddy.
We
There's
got nothing
Dirty
but
Heads.
time.
We got Dirty Heads tomorrow, and then we have another single that I hope to have out in late May, early June, with a couple more features on it. So
That's
right now, I'm
great.
just gonna pop off some singles until we see where we're at.
That's great. Uh, Kevin asks, "Is it hard to balance a band with so many individuals in it? Love the sound. Love the sound. You all sound great."
Um, yes and no. I mean, we've been together so long now, so everyone kind of knows everybody's quirks and how to deal with it for the most part. That being said, there's always shit always comes up that's a problem from time to time, but I think that's just people in groups, period. Like that's just how it is in offices or whatever you're doing. But um, no, I mean now more than ever, shit's going smooth.
Yeah, you learn how to tour together. You learn how to live with each other. You're living together. You
Yep.
learn how to do that, and everybody's got iPhones and video games and things like that. To kind of, so we don't talk that much in the van. You know what I mean? Like we do, but it's just like the first 20 minutes of the trip is like just a gaggle, just people talking, and then all of a sudden it just gets quieter and quieter. Everybody goes to sleep or is on the phone or whatever. It's funny.
Isn't that a weird phenomenon? I noticed that too. Like when we're like, there's a certain spot on the freeway where like, all right, this is where everyone starts to shut the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like talking, like catching up. It's all good. Like, oh yeah, it's coming up. I'm pumped. And then it's just like 45 minutes in, it's just like crickets.
Yep. I'll start. Yeah, I'll start like I usually put on a podcast when I drive more than
Yeah,
music nowadays, and I'll wait specifically to start the podcast because it's just talking in my ear while I'm driving.
yeah, yeah,
And as soon as I start hearing it die down, I throw it on like clockwork.
yeah, yeah.
um, Ian says, "Are both of you going to be on the same 311 cruise?" I mean, is there going to be a 311 cruise? Do I want to go on a cruise? What I don't know. What do you think?
I don't. I don't know. Hopefully one day we'll be on the same 311 cruise. I'd love to be back on it,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Yeah, it's like after all this, man, it's like wow, being stuck on a cruise with people. If some shit goes down while we're out to sea and we come back, we get stuck on that shit for weeks together. Oh my god, I think about that shit now. That'd
Yeah, it'd be wild.
be wild. But no, 311 is great people to work with. We love their team, love the band, and obviously it's a dream to work with 311. So
Yes,
yeah, for both of us.
it's been incredible,
Yeah,
super
they're
incredible.
great. Yeah, you guys recently played with them, right?
We were at 311 Day as this like was all kind of coming down. Literally, the first onset of this shit hitting the fan was we were in Vegas at MGM in a theater with 5,000 people, like, you know, and it was like I think they like just snuck that past. Like that was like it was like I think they were talking about the last day maybe being a problem. I'm not sure, but it went off without a hitch, and but it was the perfect timing for them and for us too. We played like the after parties and stuff, but um, yeah, 311 fans have been incredible to us. I can't thank them enough.
That community is huge, man. They're very loving, and they accepted us immediately. You know, we played with 311 for the first time in 2008, and it was like right from the get, people were just locked in. You know, lifers.
I remember, I think it was like one of the first times I ever met you. We were just little babies, and we were like, it was probably around then. We drove down to Columbus to LC Pavilion, if
Yep,
that's what it was called back then. And you were
lifestyle.
playing like
Yeah,
311, and we like hollered at you from like the gate, like you were going to your bus or something. And I was like, it was like one of us was like, oh, hey, and you came and said what's up to us. That might have been like literally the very first interaction.
nice,
I
dude.
think it was 08. 08, it's
That's
around
cool.
there.
Yeah, it was '08 when we played. It was March 16th, 2008. Um, and yeah, we played Columbus, Ohio, and it was like one of the greatest shows. We played with them the night before in Rolla, Missouri, and it was a really weird show. There was no sound check for us. Like Story of the
Yeah.
Year played too, like right after us,
Oh
and
wow.
and they took like all the sound check time, and we literally had no check, no, not even a line check, nothing. Like walked out, didn't know how anything was gonna sound, and sure enough, like the kick drum, dude, was just in my ear so loud and piercing, and everything was fucked up, and the crowd was really weird because it was like they were drinking all day because it was like a St. Patty's Day parade, and apparently Rolla, Missouri goes fucking hard on their St. Patty's Day, so everyone was passed out. Everybody was really just low energy because they've been drinking since probably like 9 in the morning. But the show was super weird. But the next night in Columbus was like redemption, and it was like the best ever. It was everything that I hoped it would be. You know, I was like I was super nervous because I wanted their fans to love us because I love 311. You know, and
Yeah.
I wanted to feel appreciated. I wanted them to love the music, and it was so sick, dude. It was so good. So
I don't even think we went to the show. I think we were just like so interested in meeting 311, and we just like drove down to like see who we could like bump into, you know,
oh,
like
cool, nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. um, but yeah, props to 311 and the whole fam. Uh, New Tropidelic vinyl coming soon, Nathan asks.
Yeah, we actually just talking about that today. So there should be new vinyl in the works. We're talking about what because it, you know, it gets kind of fucky with how much you can fit on one side or whatever. So I'm not sure what record it's going to be, but it's coming.
Awesome. Uh, let's see. Kyle says, "What will be the new trend in sharing music, shows, etc., as we move into this new life of COVID-19?" Well, I mean, I think you're looking at it personally. You know, just this is all stuff that like I'm learning every day. You know, like we're new information all the time. New thoughts are happening. New businesses are starting because of live streaming, and you know, there's going to be some $1 million companies, multi-million dollar companies that are born out of this. You know, they're going to take advantage of whatever this is. Um, and I think we just keep pushing Spotify and live streams and podcasts. I don't know. That's where I see it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, kind of talked about it a bunch, but it's a whole new world, man.
absolutely. Um, Arlen says, if you could work with any hip hop producer, who would it be?
I don't know. That's a different question, like who my favorite hip hop producer is, but I don't know, like even if he qualifies, but like Rick Rubin just like made the dopest shit ever and super diverse, and you know, he'd probably be the go-to to produce a trap record. That's not to say he's my favorite hip hop producer, but
Yeah, like who do you work with? Who would you work with that would like that you feel would add to the sound and make it better? Or,
yeah, probably
absolutely,
Rubin. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, having the right producer is key. You bring in the wrong guy, it could make things really weird. You know.
Did you guys work like hand in hand with a producer on like any of your records? Yeah.
Yeah, we had Paul Leary on Girls. It was things didn't really get changed or swayed in any way. He was very good at getting the right take and getting the right guitar tones and making sure the shit sounded good. And we had a great engineer there, Jerry, at Sonic Ranch. For the most part, things were as is, as I wrote them. Um, and he wasn't too like, I don't know if he didn't want to impose too much, or I really I wanted somebody there to be like, hey, do this or try this. It was a great experience working with him. And then we had Matt Wallace, who he produced that first Maroon 5 album, which, look, I love that first Maroon 5 album. It's so sick. Like the musicianship is so good. A lot of great songs in there. And he produced that. So we got to do 3 songs from that record from Girls in those sessions, and he was great. I learned a lot from him. He did a lot of like, nah, do it again, like that kind of stuff. That's what you want. Um, you know, I'd say for people looking for producers, find somebody that's going to complement your sound, and don't expect anything to happen. Like, as dreary as that sounds, don't expect someone to break your band just because they worked with so and so. It just that doesn't work like that. You know, there's a machine that is behind all of those big bands that you love.
It's good
Um,
advice.
Luke says, "What is a small band you've been listening to lately?"
Hmm.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. A small band. I gotta shout the buddies from Columbus, the Quasi Kings. If I'm thinking, and I don't want to say they're small because they've been doing their thing for a while now, and they're starting to get their due. But their songs are so catchy, man. We need more of them. You ever hear them, Howie?
I've heard. Yeah, I have. I think we played some shows with them.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was just Benny the singer's birthday, but they got great harmonies and great songs. So shout out to the Quasi Kings.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There's a band that has good dudes and great harmonies, man. The John Dank Show. They're from Guam.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, I went out with them on the Eric Rachmani tour back in December. He brought them out, and those guys are so nice and just very cool and chill. And but man, the band's great, and their harmonies are just rich, just so good. Um, so check those guys out. We'll do a couple more here. You got time?
Oh yeah, buddy.
Okay, cool. Um, oh, here we go. Here's a friend of ours, mutual friend, Holly. Where did Freak Stomp come from?
Like, I'm assuming that means like the name Freak Stomp.
Tell us, tell us about the name and give us a quick breakdown of why you guys put a festival on. As hard as it is to put a festival on.
Well, we have a lot of help. I should say that. It's like people ask me tons of questions and stuff that I don't have necessarily have the answers to because we don't get involved with the nitty gritty organizational stuff. It's never something I really wanted to do. Is like do all that and be out there with a walkie talkie working the whole time. It's not what we do. That being said, we're highly involved and we kind of have an idea and get approval on things. But where did Freak Stomp come from? All of this came from the song. If you want to know what the name came from, you're gonna have to just infer. I don't know. I don't want to reveal too much, but if you listen to the lyrics, you could probably figure out in some degree.
All right, all right, tough guy.
I hate sometimes I don't want to like go in too deep because you leave it up to
Yeah,
it means what you want it to mean. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll explain some stuff, but like I don't know, kind of like you don't want to open the present for them, you know.
Yeah, that's good. It's leaving it to the imagination. It can be a lot of fun, and um, yeah, I totally get that. Um, oh, she has a follow up question. Let's just hit that. What is your favorite part about Freak Stomp? I want to know this too.
Man, it's so amazing to have like how you got these people that are like you'll only see once a year, 2 times a year on tour, but they're like you hadn't missed a beat. They're your fucking family. They put you up or whatever. But to have them like all in the same spot is fucking wild. And then they form long-term friendships, and it's just like it's crazy. It's one of those places where I'm sitting around, I'm just like, I can't believe this is my life. Like, look what we've done here, and look at these people that support us and that love us, and and I just can't believe it's incredible. So
You're looking at a legacy. Like you're looking at out of these people, and you're just like, we brought all these people together, and that's amazing. That the connection, man. You're building that community. You know, Tropaholics is a big community.
yeah,
Um, definitely if you're not on Tropaholics Facebook, make sure you get on that. Um, but yeah, it's these Facebook groups, man, with these hardcore fans is it's something else. It really is, and it can be, you could have 50 people or 100 people in the group. You could have 10K in the group. I think Ugly's Nation is like 10K, but it's fucking strong, man. Those are people that care, you know, and I think that's why these the admins they'll put those questions in place, like how'd you find the band, or whatever, like certain specific questions, because they want serious people that actually care about the band, and that's what
yeah,
makes these groups so good, I think. And you're basically looking at the Tropaholics, but they're right in front of you now at a show. Like I love
yeah,
that, you know.
yes.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's great.
God, I hope this year's on. I
I
hope it's
hope so
on.
too, man. I hope so too. I was looking forward to doing it. I know it's gonna be a banger. Let's see. Michelle says, "Is there a longer version of the song you sang when Ohio called for shelter in place?"
I think she means I post a little clip of something I wrote like real quick on one of those mornings.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we fleshed it out, and that's the song that I'm gonna have a couple features on here coming out, May or June.
I love to hear about the creativity flowing, man, like the juice flowing. Like when you're saying like, "Oh yeah, I wrote that song when we played that show in Chicago," or this right here, like, yeah, we fleshed it out. Like I love that. That's like I love to hear about I don't know, that you love your craft, and like you're being able to complete a song is a feat, you know.
Yeah,
Like I told someone this morning and somebody hit me in my DM about, "Hey man, how do you write songs?" Like I get stuck. I'm like, "What do you do?" And I need to take my own advice, because I'll come up with shit and be like, "Why didn't I think of that? And why don't I apply that to myself?" But like, um, some songs write themselves. Other songs take years sometimes. I got songs that I wrote in like 2004 and didn't come out until 2011. For whatever reason. And when I finish a song, I am so pumped. I'm so stoked about it, because it's such an ordeal sometimes. And lyrics is what I get stuck on. I got melodies and riffs all day long,
yep,
forever. But words, I get wrapped up in my own head, because I want them to be great. Some people get our shit tattooed on them, like words, like lines. And I'm like, I don't want to put some whack fucking bars on somebody's body. Like I want to put some good shit that means something. So I get hung up in that, and I don't write anything, you know?
yeah, yeah. But so this was, I always remember this too. Like, I don't remember where I wrote every song, but it was the 6 weeks home from the road. All this shit's happening in the days we're driving across the country. The last hotel before the drive home. I woke up in the morning. It was me and Derek. We always share rooms because we're the early risers. And I opened the curtains and I was like, we're waking up in a new world. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna like roll with that, like.
you ever seen you ever seen Walk Hard?
Oh
Have
yeah,
we, yeah, it's just like that. It's like It's like, yeah, I'm guilty as charged. He goes, guilty as charged.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was a dark fucking period.
Yeah, dude. I love that shit. So that's great. You came up with a song title. That's good. The when you pull from real life, that's the best.
Yeah.
Brandon Hardesty, I think, is king of that. Like he just writes everything real and like just and he's so I tell him all the time, I'm like so envious. He sends me songs all the time. Here, mix this, work on this. I'm like, fucking Christ, how are you doing this? Where are you pulling these songs out of? And
Crank them out.
he's just really good at it, man. I love it. It's envious.
I'm like you though. I write. I have tons of riffs and melodies. It's plugging in the lyrics. That's the issue for me. I'm the same way.
And you got great lyrics. Like your flow's good, and like you singing, rapping, whatever you're doing. But the lyrics are always good in quality. I think
Thanks, bro.
it feels like it comes easy to you. I don't know if it is or not, but it seems like you don't have the same problems I have. Like I'm just like, God damn it, you know, throwing
No, I
shit
agree.
away.
Yeah.
But I guess we all make it look easy. But let me see here. Let's find a couple. Throw me some good questions. I need like two good questions for Rose before we let him go. Let's see. Elizabeth says, "Will there be another Ballyhoo Uglies Tropidelic national tour again in the future? It's such a fun one. I went to five. Oh wow, thank you so much. That's awesome. So you were at some of the sold out shows then. We had a couple out there.
I think that's where we met her at. We met her out in California. Yeah. Hopefully one day we'll do that again.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That that was definitely one of my favorite tours. Just when you put a tour together, it's like it's great to do it with guys you already know for one, uh, but it's also great when like the bands, like the music, is like slamming. Like each band is slamming, and it's like we're all under that sort of umbrella, whatever you call it, reggae, rock, American reggae, whatever it is. But we all have our own flavor, and I think that's so rad. And everybody's got their fans, and people are just pumped. Most people are sticking around all night. It's good. I like putting thought into the tour and making a quality show because that's really what matters, man. It's like putting on a great show for people. You know. Thank you, Elizabeth. That's great. Um, Brian says, "Why did you choose Rhodes as your performing surname?"
I didn't. I didn't choose that.
It chose
Per
you.
se. It chose me. Yeah, but yeah, it's just kind of nickname that stuck with me. There was a point in my life where I thought I was going to be a rapper. Let's be honest. I know we all kind of went through that at some point, but no.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, but so yeah, so I was gonna be a rapper. Like I was going when I first went to Kent. I had like a little studio set up in my dorm with the keyboards and the cakewalk, and I would find any kind of rapper I'd run into on campus. I'd bring them over, and at some point during that process of standing on the flipping the dining room tables in the cafeteria and rapping at 3 a.m, we somehow Rhodes became sort of like my MC name, and it just kind of rolled with it from there. But I like it better that way. I like it better than my real name because that's not my real name. There, I just outed myself. But
Oh shit, man. Damn. That's what the podcast is for. I'm trying to make people cry on this fucking pod, dude. I'm
yeah,
trying to be Barbara Walters, dude. um, Nathan says, "Will you ever do more skits on your albums? Love them."
yeah, we had a blast. People love those skits, man. So that was like Vinny and James did like some skits. Like I kind of was there helping write them a little bit, but maybe we will. You know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you guys are great at those. And the one about uh, how to catch a predator, but when he has the bean fetish or whatever, the can of
Yeah,
beans.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
amazing. No, I think that's something that a lot of people don't know is that like I mean this includes us like most bands that I know like they're like basically part-time comedians.
Yeah.
Like we wish we could do stand up. We wish we could be SNL alumni. Like we are always coming up with dumbass things and making sketches and goofing off with each other. And it's a nice component. It helps break up the monotony, but there's something about what we do that drives us to these places of like comedy. And for me, it's like uh, it helps keep the darkness away. You know?
Yeah, it's torture soul shit. Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of evil things I could be thinking about, like dark things, but like when I do this shit, laughing, goofing off, I don't know. It's fun to see. And I love when like a band takes it a step further, like you guys, and films it and makes a thing. It's fun.
we have to tone down. Like there was a long toning down process for years for us. Like if there was no filter, there would be a lot more. But like we have to, there has to be a cutoff somewhere. I guess I don't know.
I can't imagine the things that Derek has done on video.
There's videos. There's video.
Locked away in a vault somewhere.
I would.
For the better of all of us. Um, all right, let's see. Sharon, Donald does need a mic more often. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, the chat is flying right now. Trying to find a good one to end on here. Mondays with the sex. What's going on with that? When's the new season coming out?
We talked about. Do you guys have a Patreon yet? We talked about doing that and maybe like doing them exclusively on there. You do so much already. I don't know.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
We have I have a Patreon. I just never used it. The band doesn't have one. I am concerned with. I'll tell you why. Because I don't like I'm committed to things, but I don't like commitment. I don't like being locked in to making things happen because I feel like I don't want to be rushed. As an artist, I want to like make sure it's good. I don't want to crank shit out just to crank it out. I'm afraid to have a subscription service where I'm supposed to put something out every month. It scares me, just because of my process, the way I write, I throw things away a lot. I take a long time. It maybe I could, get a series of things and then release them, which is probably the better thing to do. But when you start running out of material, I start freaking out. It's like when you have that 2 weeks blocked in the studio and you have half the album written, and then the other 6 songs just aren't coming. You're like, what do we do?
I feel that.
Yeah. But no, great idea. Yet another thing that I think artists should be taking advantage of is, that platforms like that, and your audience wants to help. They want to donate. Just give them something to get excited about. Give them something to, to throw their money at.
I like the OnlyFans idea, the premium Snapchat. I like those ideas. Derek will set those up.
Nice. Yeah, that's a Derek job for sure.
Yeah.
The night we played in San Antonio, I think it was the last night with you guys, and he came out during Ross Vader in the green Borat bikini. The you know what I'm talking about. And I did the thing where I had a break from singing, so he was playing, and I walked between his legs, and I got his sack like grazed the top of my head. It was a great night. Great night.
I remember well.
It was fun. That was a fun one. He was all weird about it too. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd be cool." I was like, "Dude, come on, man. I love this shit." Not getting balls rubbed in my head, but it was, I just love the whole vibe. It's great. Everybody that shit's so funny to me, man.
I think he's got a lot of, believe it or not, negative responses from that. So I think he was just leery that
you. Whatever. It is what it is. Here's a good one. Michelle, Matt, who's your biggest role model?
Well, I don't like. I just help. I think when I'm a kid, I'm a man now, so I don't really consider anybody like a role model now per se. I guess I don't know. I will say Dennis Rodman. I like Dennis Rodman a lot, man. I looked up to him so much, and I was like heartbroken. And I've explained this once or twice. There's that lyric in the song, and I wouldn't have wrote that like the same way if I was writing that song now. But yeah, the way his life went, like after the Chicago Bulls, I was just like, man, I don't know. But I don't know. I can't really think of anybody in particular.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's good to have somebody to look up to, and I don't know. I don't know who like a role model would be. I mean, I definitely try to I look at bands that I love, Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong, guys like that. I mean, that's why I play guitar the way I do. You know, I
You
was,
can hear that.
yeah, I was 13, 14, and my guitar hangs way down low, and I chug the shit out of it, just beat the shit out of the guitar. I went to that guitar school of Billy Joe Armstrong. That was, um, and the way I perform, the way I communicate with a crowd, the way I try to work the room, it's the same approach that he has, and that's just all I know. Um, my
Have you
idea
met
is
him
to
yet?
what's that?
Have you met him at all ever?
Yeah, I met them in 2004.
Did you?
Yeah, I met the whole band. Like my friend,
Wow.
my friend, she used to do that show with Nikki Six,
Okay.
and on I don't know if it was on K Rock or something out west. And but before that, she used to live over here, and she was on the DC station HFS, which is a huge alternative station. Used to throw these big festivals every year, and we got to be friends. And she texted me one day. She said, she's like, "Hey, come and call in at a certain time, and you'll win tickets. You'll be the ninth caller or whatever
Wow.
to the meet and greet for Green Day." That's because she knew I like Green Day. I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome!" So she got me the tickets. Got to go to the show that night, but before that, they did a radio station thing where the band comes in and there's like a bunch of people there, and they get to kind of have a appearance. And I knew I was gonna meet him, so like I packed a shopping bag of like Ballyhoo CDs and a koozie and stickers and whatever, a shirt. Finally made my way up to Billy. I was like, dude, what's up? I just looked at him. I was like, you saved my life, man. I literally just so dumb. Like, you saved my life. Like, just dumb shit. Fangirl hard, man. And I was like, here you go. And he took the bag and he's looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's my band stuff. Just like some shirts and CDs. And you don't have to listen to them. And like, there's a beer koozie in there. And then Trey Cool's like, he's like, oh, beer koozie. And he runs over and he grabs it and he puts his Coors Light in it. And it's got the Earl face on it. He's drinking out of it. I'm like, oh shit. I had my camera, but it was some shitty camera. I'm trying to take pictures.
Nice.
And yeah, man, I got to beat him and they're super cool. And I tried to get him to bring me up on stage tonight and he didn't see me. And even though I was the tallest guy there, and
Yeah.
whatever, it's all good. I was just happy to get the time I got. I heard they're awesome dudes. And have you ever met like any of your
I
favorite rock
mean,
stars or anything?
yeah, it's just the ones that we're rubbing shoulders with now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to like say, I don't want to full fangirl even on here, but yeah, I've got to meet a few of them. And it's been fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? But
Right on.
but that Dookie record like was my first CD. I know it's like a lot of people's first CD, but I asked my mom what a whore was because of Billy Joe Armstrong. I remember where I was standing in the house. Like I remember exactly the moment in her face, and that CD got put in the trash so quick.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, they weren't having that shit.
Yeah, man, that's a timeless classic record for a lot of people our age, man. So that's cool.
Every
Yeah,
song.
absolutely, front to back. Um, well, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we appreciate. I'm sure all the fans here appreciate it. Thanks for the questions, everybody. Make sure you're following Rhodes Icarus. There's his tag right there. Right, hold on, right there. It's hard. I'm getting used to doing this now. Right there, and follow him on the socials and go listen to Tropidelic and hopefully we'll see a live stream at some point from you to play a few songs for your fans. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and don't forget the new single featuring Dirty Heads tonight at midnight.
Tonight, you guys got a pre-save?
Yeah, we got a shitload of pre-saves already. Make sure there's a link on our page. You can go pre-save it now. Otherwise, midnight tonight.
Yeah, pre-saving is huge. If you haven't done it, everybody in here, there's like 100 people in here right now. If you wouldn't mind, find their link on their socials and go pre-save that song. Every pre-save helps. Every pre-save counts, and that just means that the algorithm's going to pick them up and help them push them out to a wider audience. So the more you guys do that, the more you guys stream and share and get everybody on board, the better. It works for all your favorite artists. So, and stream the fuck out of it this weekend. All right, cool, man. Well, dude,
All
Matt,
right.
thanks so much.
Thanks, buddy.
Dude, have a great day and stay healthy. And I'm gonna hit you up for some workout tips.
All right. See you guys later.
Later,
Thanks.
man.
Yeah.